Hello, welcome to a new episode of What is Happening in Brazil. This week, we will start the show with our culture talk because Brazil's most anticipated season is finally here, Carnival. This year, the Carnival holiday is officially on Tuesday, February 25th, but the celebration started much earlier and will reach a peak as of Friday. During Carnival week, thousands of revelers come together to dance and sing to street band music. But one of the biggest attractions is the samba school parades. Mangueira, one of the Rio de Janeiro's most popular schools, will perform the theme song "The Truth Will Set You Free," offering a critical interpretation of Jesus' life. The lyrics portray Jesus as an advocate of religious diversity, freedom of thought, and the rights of the lower classes. The theme song was written by Luiz Carlos Máximo and Manu da Cuica. Manu spoke with Brasil de Fato about how Carnival can be a tool to take a political stand and also about women's participation in the samba world. Watch it.
Fala tanto em Cristo, então onde ele estaria hoje?
People talk so much about Jesus, but where would he be today? Where would he have been born? He would have been born poor. Maybe he would be born in a Rio de Janeiro slum. And if that was the case, how would his story be, his contact with the state? What is the state in general doing to the young slum dwellers? Aren't the wounds of oppression also the wounds of Christ? Our samba team this year highlights what Jesus Christ really was about. He was born poor, among the poor. He fought against it and rebelled against the state. And he was tortured and murdered by the state. He was someone who fought for inclusion and gave a really big meaning to the word brothers, to the word fraternity.
A palavra fraternidade.
In 2020, at least 10 of the 13 most important samba schools of Rio de Janeiro will parade with songs that express criticism against President Jair Bolsonaro. During last year's Carnival season, the song Manu da Cuica wrote for the Mangueira Samba School won the Samba Parade in Rio. The lyrics were also a statement against Brazil's current political situation. Manu is one of the few female composers in the country's biggest carnival festival.
O samba, a gente falou de trincheiras assim.
Samba is also a battlefield for feminism. Sometimes people are misinformed about what that word actually means. They think it means reverse sexism, but it actually is the idea that people should have equal opportunities. I've been involved with samba sessions and carnival universe since I was 15 years old. I always reveled in street carnival parties and watched samba school parades. They are arguably the biggest cultural expression of Rio de Janeiro. The tensions, contradictions, the joy of the city are also expressed during Carnival. So the word of samba in Carnival informs who I am.
É universo que me forma. Mangueira, vão te inventar mil pecados, mas eu estou do seu lado e do lado do samba também.
Now it's time for our story of the week.
It's Carnival season in Brazil, but for many Brazilians that doesn't mean party time. Thousands of unemployed workers take the opportunity to make extra money by selling beverages during street parties, for example.
It's really hard to find job opportunities these days in Brazil. So we have to find ways to make a living so that we don't starve. Of course, we want to have a better job and formal employment. But unfortunately, that's not the kind of opportunity the country is giving us today.
It's really hard to find formal employment now, so we are resorting to street vending. It's also hard to sell things as a street vendor because the police can take our merchandise away or sometimes even beat us up.
In southeastern Brazil, the São Paulo city government issued permits for 12,000 street vendors to sell beverages at street carnival parties. Those who didn't get a permit will be subject to law enforcement action. But even those who do get the license are not granted any kind of labor rights.
Street vendors are left to their own fate when those things happen. Having a city permit and selling legitimate merchandise give us a sense of security, but no labor rights.
se nivelando por baixo.
Maybe they could offer a contract or something like that to have some kind of legal binding agreement. Without that, we remain unemployed. We'll just have work for these few days.
Merchandise kits were handed out to street vendors by Ambev, the brewing company that won the bid to sell drinks and beverages in the city during Carnival season. Licensed street vendors received a cool box, a large parasol, and discounts of products sold by the company. But some street vendors are concerned about the rules that were set.
We have to sell the specific products that they offer. They give us an opportunity, but we have to work with what they offer us.
Well, it's not good, because sometimes we end up losing a sale, even bottled water. We have to sell their brand. Last year, we ran out of it. What if that happens again this year? We can't sell a different brand of bottled water.
You work so much and make so little. It's not a lot of money, considering all the work and the effort you have to put in. You basically have no safety or security. I believe that unemployment has a huge impact for the self-employed workers who resort to this kind of job because they have to make a living.
Now, check it out, the latest news from Brazil.
In the Brazilian Amazon, the city of Barcarena has been struggling with a slew of man-made environmental disasters caused by irresponsible corporate activities. February 17th marked the 2-year anniversary of the most recent major episode, when toxic waste spilled from a residue deposit operated by the Norwegian alumina refinery Hydro Alunorte. The overflow of mining residues contaminated local communities with heavy metals. Barcarena is a major industrial city, home of the biggest port in the state of Pará. Experts classify the area as a sacrifice zone because the local economy disregards residents and their rights, denying them employment, transport, and healthcare services. The city of Barcarena has also suffered with episodes caused by irresponsible mining, including environmental pollution, spills, and black rain. The local communities are taking the cases to court in order to claim their rights and have their emergency needs met. Hydro Alunorte claims that it is not responsible for the damages and that it's meeting the agreement signed with the Public Prosecution Service. After 19 days, Petrobras workers decided to suspend their strike. The decision was made after negotiation talks with the company began and the firing of more than 1,000 workers from a fertilizer plant in Paraná in the south of the country was suspended. From now on, the Supreme Labor Tribunal will mediate the negotiation. It was also published this week that Petrobras had record profits. According to experts, this can be explained by the fact that company executives seek to turn it into a petroleum and gas exploration hub in accordance with the government's neoliberal line, giving refineries to the private sector. By increasing the amount of oil exports, Petrobras opens the door for private companies to sell their products here, while at the same time not guaranteeing the oil supply of the local market.
Now it's time for Brazilianism.
Today I'm going to show you a recipe for porridge made with puba and mango. The ingredients are puba, which is a fermented manioc biomass, chopped mango, and 500 milliliters of milk. Let's get to it. Let's make all the ingredients in a pan. I'm usually okay using just the sugar from the fruit to make the porridge, but if you want to sweeten it up a little bit more, you can use half a cup of brown sugar. Now that we have mixed the ingredients, we will cook that over medium heat until it reaches this porridge consistency. It's very easy to tell when it's done. If you can almost see the bottom of the pan when you stir it, that means it's done. You can knead it while it's hot or wait for it to cool down, put it in the fridge and eat it nice and cold. That's almost the right consistency, it's almost done. Now we've reached the right consistency. You can also eat this porridge with other foods or use it as a pie or cake filling.
Want to keep up with the latest news about Brazil? You just have to add the number you see on the screen to your contacts and send us a WhatsApp message with your name and country. I see you next week. Bye!